Christ must, by Alexander Maclaren. Even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. John 3:14. Here we see Christ impelled by filial obedience and the consciousness of his mission. Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business? That was a strange utterance for a boy of 12. It seems to negative the supposition that what is called the messianic consciousness dawned upon Jesus Christ first after his baptism and the descent of the Spirit. But however that may be, it and similar passages to which I have already referred, bearing upon his discharge of his work prior to his death, teach that the necessity was an inward necessity, springing from his consciousness of sonship and his recognition of the work that he had to do. And so he is our great example of spontaneous obedience, which it does violence to itself if it does not obey. It was instinct that sent the boy into the temple. Where should his son be but in his father's house? How could he not be doing his father's business? Thus he stands before us, the pattern for the only obedience that is worth calling so, the obedience which would be pained and ill at ease unless it were doing the work of God. Religion is meant to make it a second nature, or, as I have ventured to call it, an instinct, a spontaneous, uncalculating, irrepressible desire to be in fellowship with God and to be doing his will. That is the meaning of our Christianity. There is no obedience in reluctant obedience. Forced service is slavery, not service. Christianity is given for the specific purpose that it may bring us so into touch with Jesus Christ as that the mind which was in him may be in us. And we too may be able to say with a kind of wonder that people should have expected to find us in any other place or doing anything else. Wist ye not that because I am a son, I must be about my Father's business? As certainly as the sunflower follows the sun, so certainly will a man, animated by the mind that was in Jesus Christ, like him, find his very life's breath in doing the Father's will. So then, brethren, what about our grudging service? What about our reluctant obedience? What about the widespread mistake that religion prohibits wished-for things and enforces unwelcome duties? If my Christianity does not make me recoil from what it forbids and spring eagerly to what it commends, my Christianity is of very little use. If when in the temple we are like idle boys in school, always casting glances at the clock and the door and wishing ourselves outside, we may just as well be out as in. Glad obedience is true obedience. Only he who can say, "Thy law is within my heart, and I do thy will because I love thee, and cannot but do as thou desirest," has found the joy possible to a Christian life. It is not harsh and crabbed, as those that look upon it from the outside may suppose, but musical and full of sweetness. There is nothing more blessed than when I choose covers exactly the same ground as I ought, and when duty is delight, delight will never become disgust, nor joy pass away.